Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper in corner we have Pandor starting as the green Terran, bottom left in corner we have Supperman starting as the purple Protoss. I believe last match I accidentally had a single win in Supperman's corner. I guess I gave that to him because he's from Norway. The automatic victory. Very fast probe pull. It looks like he wants to get the gas steal guaranteed. Eclipse is one of these two-player maps that is known for its prime gas stealing real estate. Since you know where your opponent is directly, if you get that early probe out, you can usually guarantee that you're gonna get it. I wonder if there's a follow-up though, because just securing a gas steal doesn't necessarily make a complete strategy. And it'll be interesting to see if Pandor opts to try to cap his gas. Or never mind. I thought he was going for the gas steal. Instead, it looks like it's just gonna be proxy. So maybe I was over. What's the word I'm looking for? I misjudged Supperman. I thought he was just going for the fast gas steal. I guess he could have waited a bit on that. Instead, is going to opt for some sort of proxy tech. Another thing Eclipse is very known for, although more often than not, where you'll see the proxy tech is less. This might be a clever area, honestly. This is just straight up in Pandor's face. I don't see how he could miss this, honestly, unless he's dealing with the probe being feisty. This is. So usually a forward gate, you can play the forward gate back here, and if it's a forward one gate, you're looking for your opponent to overreact and build too many Marines and exact a lot of damage. Supperman doing the forward gate here and going for the gas steal does get the gas steal as well. Very nice. And that will make the Zealots even stronger. And I'm curious if Pandor, so he is moving out to scout. There, he's definitely, well, okay, was moving out to scout, has turned right back around. First salt's going to be out pretty quickly. Now, let's get Pandor's timing here. Okay, he does see sees the edge of it. So now what he should do is just attack the pylon. Yeah. Attack the pylon with that SCV, because now Supperman, with that initial unit, will have to either turn around and deal with the Zealot, allowing more Marines to be built. Immediate second barracks here from Pandor to deal with this. I actually kind of like that play, because, especially with the gas steal that's happened in kind, because it just allows you to get a lot of ground forces and maybe threaten a potential natural expansion that was being built. Although, with all of that construction, the question is that an overcommitment? That's 150 resources and then whatever Marines are produced out of it. Marines working on the assimilator. Zealot making his way forward, not quite able to get that. Oh, the Zealot can slide through that corner. Not quite. I didn't think that. I guess they can't slide through that direction. Yeah, so he's got to go all the way around. Already a decent amount of damage. The probe also being taken off the field. The barracks halted. Now the Zealot finally dealing with that SCV. The SCV can just skirt back out and return, however. Part of the annoyance of that. Is Pandor going to continue with the scouting? No, he's actually going to proceed forward scouting. The Marines still working on that assimilator. And the Zealot able to get more Zealots, able to get right back in. And I'm wondering if Pandor is noting the timing that these Zealots are getting here. This is now 3 Zealots versus 4 Marines. So SCVs should be pulled to provide some support. That Zealot doing a weird dash away from the Marine with its hitting mechanic. I think, I'm not sure what I was saying earlier. I was like, Pandor, does he know the time? He scouted it. He scouted it. That's what happened there. Late night cast. That's what's happening here. 5 Marines and 2 more to get a total of 7. There's certainly, these Zealots not going to get anything accomplished out of this, and Supperman has not invested heavily into Dragoons behind this. It looks like he was mostly counting on a lot of damage. Well, he's producing a Dragoon on the forward field here. But the thing is this is plenty of Marines to deal with, not just the Zealots, but also the follow-up Dragoons. And you can see Pandor's not even really going to bother microing in the midst of this. It looks like 2 Marines did get wiped out. But now Supperman has the problem of he's going to lose this gateway for sure. Probably going to lose the Dragoon that's produced. It's going to be a minute before he has a gateway on his side of the map, and Pandor is going to be slamming a lot of units into his opponent pretty rapidly, and I don't know that Supperman's going to have the raw, unless he drops to Forge, and even then. So Pylon gone, so that's just not going to do anything. Pandor can ignore this, and just continue with the attack. Also grabbing his command center in the midst of this, and now we've got 1 Dragoon, a second briefly. Keep in mind 3 Marines usually handle a Dragoon. And we have well more than 3, and an SCV alongside to drop a bunker if he found a natural expansion. Pylons getting dropped everywhere. Supperman also supply blocked himself, which does not help. You also have a factory that is already in construction in the midst of this. And Pandor, seeing a lack of natural expansion, is just going to draw back, recognizing that he's well ahead. Just going to get his prize, that is this unpowered gateway, off the field. And now he's in a pretty decent position. He's going to have that natural expansion up a lot more rapidly. He's going to have plenty of Marines to provide extra defense. The Dragoons are going to have to watch out. Usually Dragoons, even with range, will feel a little bit more... The range does change the equation a bit. SCV, by the way. The SCV's got a kill. Wow, killed one of the Zealots, so it's a battle-hardened SCV on top of everything else. The Marines do need to be a little bit careful, and I like that from Pandor, dropping more Corrupt on the front. This does leave a little bit of an edge for these barracks to be hit by the Dragoons with range. That will range the bunker. Actually, I think they do that before even the range upgrade. But we have double factory behind this, and the natural expansion is well underway. And so you got a tech lead, you've got a supply lead, you've got, well, almost a supply lead. You got a tech lead, you've got an economy lead, and you've got a army lead in the midst of this. Pandor focusing on the bunker with damage. Ooh, might be able to wipe it out here. But again, even if he takes it out, I still think there's plenty of Marines, especially with the SCVs alongside, to deal with this. Siege Tech researching a first Siege Tank being constructed as well. Barrack being lifted so the SCV cannot be targeted underneath. And now being relanded. Is this one going to float over? Needs to be a little bit careful with what he's floating where. Also opening up a channel for these Marines to potentially dash out and assault what might be the weak Dragoon on the front. This is over. You only needed the 4. Tanks attacking from the high ground, going to push the Dragoons back. And Supperman still doesn't have his natural expansion in the midst of this, so he's down on workers. Is boxed out. He does have 6 Dragoons, which oftentimes can threaten a siege tank, but the siege tank's on the high ground, so you got the misfire chance, and you got double machine shop on top of it. So Pandor is very easily going to be able to transition out of this into a lot of siege tanks, very likely get his 3rd up fairly rapidly if he wants to, or if he wants to, he could also just go for a little bit of a... there's a lot of... Basically, the field's open for Pandor right this second. He can go armory, go for +1. He can take the siege tanks he has, maybe even throw just down a 3rd factory. I think, honestly, just even with the 3rd factory, you'd have enough to go out, grab a 3rd base. As if he wandering out to go ahead and see what's out there. Supperman... His options, I feel like he's gotta get speed reavers out there and hope for some miracle drops is what needs to happen here. And on top of that, sneak a 3rd and hope that Pandor doesn't start moving out any units to hurt him. Supperman, Pandor already checking bottom right hand corner just in case there was either... I don't think he was looking for proxy attack. I think he was wondering if there was an additional... One, he drew a lot of the Dragoons back, which is allowing the vultures to sneak out in the field, but also has the added bonus of checking as to whether or not there was a additional 3rd nexus down there in the bottom right hand corner. Dragoons folding back should be able to deal with the vultures, but the vultures also going to check the 9 o'clock. The mines upgrade not quite there yet. It'll be a minute before they're complete, as Siege Check did take priority. Probe getting caught as it was maneuvering that direction, so that's going to slow down that 3rd base even further. Supperman does have an opportunity to move some Dragoons up. Maybe he's going to... actually, I guess he's not going to feel comfortable doing that without an observer. Comsat seeing the tech, so knows that it's going to be Reavers, and also that Supperman is played light on the gateway count, so... Again, this is where Pandor has to do a little bit of thinking. Does he really want... Is he going to go ahead and tack on? It looks like he's going to tack on a 3rd factory. Let's see if he tacks on a 4th. Yeah. Going to go ahead and grab 4 factories. Supperman making his way forward with the Reavers and Zealots. Mines planted now at what potentially could have been a 3rd base for Supperman. They're definitely going to slow that down. I presume they're just going to go ahead and make sure there's additional mines across the board. So now... Yeah, we need... So we already have a turret back here. Do we have some Goliaths that are in production as of yet? No Goliaths, but actually I guess we don't really need them because we have the Marines on top of everything else. So this is an absolute death trap for a potential attack. Also, both barracks going to provide some forward scouting. Supperman gathering is splitting his troops into 2 columns here for this potential assault. Maybe he could have gone for a sneaky... Well, had a brief opportunity to maybe... go for a very brief elevator before Pandor caught wind of that. But with the siege tanks in large numbers, 5 factories of production behind that, I don't know where he can even drop, honestly, to end up with some success. It looks like now he is sneaking the Nexus to the bottom right-hand corner rather than sacrificing the troops. Vultures sneaking across are going to discover that and wipe the probe out. Are the Dragoons going to go down there? I'm looking for troops. Maybe the Reaver goes down there and defends that eventually. The Observer, at the very least, able to peel a little bit forward and see the edge of those factories. Additional comp set here from Pandor to check the natural expansion to see what kind of saturation, also if there's a lot of troops staged there. Still sitting at just 4 gateways, so this is more gateways than factories, or sorry, more factories than gateways is what I meant to say there, which is usually bad news. And Pandor walking out, able to splat a Zealot, I guess wisp a Zealot and splat a Dragoon. And Supperman in some trouble now. Even without the +1 weapons upgrade, this is a lot of mech. There are 2 Reavers in the shuttle. Reaver dropping short, got scooped up before it was able to land a shot. The Dragoons getting wiped out. Mines obliterating a lot of the Dragoons on retreat. The Reaver has already taken a significant amount of damage, and it still hasn't leveled a shot. And it looks like, yeah, 1 Reaver gone. Second Reaver has picked off finally a shot. But, oof, a lot of damage done. Supperman has no troops left. Pandor cannot just... He can go ahead and grab an additional base and build on-site if he wants to. He could also push and probably end the game in the midst of this. He also has the far-out advantage. If he just waits and sends some vultures to the south, he can probably catch some probes or anything else trying to migrate to the southern base. It looks like Pandor's going to do everything at once. So go ahead and grab that 1 o'clock position, take the high ground, and engage not much of an army. Zealots looking for Zealot bombs, but a lot of the tanks remaining unsieged, so the Zealots not finding any foothold. Zealot leg speed also not researched, so additional problems there for Supperman. And now he's got, I don't know that he has enough troops to defend the natural expansion, let alone defend the 5 o'clock location. His armies are continually getting swarmed. And there's GG from Supperman. Pandor with an easy 2-0 over Supperman to advance to the upper bracket round 2. Supperman, will see him continue. He showed some good stuff. It's just Pandor is a formidable opponent, as I think that what came down to. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.